When you think about the cloud, you probably think it's a two-horse race, right? But what if I told you the company in third place isn't just trying to catch up? They're playing a whole different game. Today, we're going to peel back the layers on Google Cloud, and I think you'll see why its number 3 spot is one of the most misunderstood stories in tech. Yeah, on the surface, it looks like the cloud hierarchy is pretty much set in stone. But that number 3 contender, they've got a powerful hidden advantage. It's like an ace up their sleeve that those market share numbers just don't show. So what is this secret weapon? The one that could totally reshape the entire cloud landscape? Okay, so let's start with what everybody already knows. You look at the numbers for Q2 2025, and it's the picture we've all come to expect, right? Amazon's AWS is way out in front at 30%. Microsoft's Azure is a strong number 2, and then you've got Google Cloud sitting there at 13%. Now, if this were just a normal race, you'd say, okay, the podium's set. But this is exactly where the story gets really interesting. And you have to understand, the stakes here are just astronomical. We're not talking about a big market. This thing is a nearly $100 billion per quarter behemoth, and it's growing at a blistering 25% year over year. I mean, think about that. In a sector this massive and moving this fast, every single percentage point is an absolute battleground. So each of these big 3, they've really carved out their own identity, you know? AWS is like the everything store of the cloud. Nobody can touch them on the sheer breadth of services. Azure, well, they're brilliant at leveraging their massive enterprise presence for super smooth integration. But Google's DNA has always been data, analytics, and AI. And that one distinction, that's the key to this whole story. See, if we only look at that market share chart, we're really just seeing the tip of the iceberg. The real strategic battle, that's being fought way down deep, beneath the surface. And hey, it's not just us saying this. The influential Forrester Wave report, they put it perfectly. They actually named Google a leader specifically because of its forward-thinking vision. Now listen to the language they use. Unified, agentic, intelligent data platform. They're not just talking about cloud storage here. They're describing the future. And they are pointing directly at Google's secret weapon. So here it is. This is the secret weapon. The core of Google's entire strategy isn't to try and out-Amazon. No way. It's to fundamentally shift the whole battleground over to its home turf, data and AI. It's not about competing on their terms, it's about completely redefining the terms of the competition itself. And this whole vision, it really rests on 3 powerful pillars. So first, building an AI-assisted platform where intelligent agents just automate the complex work for you. Second, creating a multimodal data foundation. That's a fancy way of saying it can handle any kind of data you throw at it, from spreadsheets to videos, no problem. And third, delivering insights in real time. This means embedding intelligence right in, so you can act the moment the data arrives, not hours or days later. And look, this isn't just some theory on a whiteboard. This is happening right now with tools you can use. You've got BigQuery, which is totally transforming data storage from a dumb box into an intelligent engine for AI. You've got Vertex AI, which is basically democratizing machine learning, letting any company, big or small, build really sophisticated models. I mean, you can even query these massive data sets just by asking questions in plain English. The takeaway here is huge. Google is making elite-level data science accessible to pretty much everyone. Okay, so that's the tech, but what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's take a look at how this data and AI edge is transforming entire industries from the ground up. Let's take healthcare, for example. We're seeing this fundamental shift away from just reactive treatment to something more like predictive health. We're talking about AI models built on Google Cloud that can help spot diseases like cancer way earlier than before. And because you can centralize all that data in something like BigQuery, doctors get a secure, complete, real-time picture of a patient's health. That lets them make life-saving decisions in an instant. Or how about manufacturing? The big goal there is the self-optimizing smart factory. Think about it. AI models that can predict when a machine on an assembly line is about to break down, preventing millions of dollars in costly downtime. Companies are even building these things called digital twins, perfect virtual replicas of their entire factories, so they can test out new ideas and optimize workflows without ever risking a single physical part. It's wild. And then you've got finance, where it's all about speed and intelligence. With streaming analytics, you can detect and shut down a fraudulent transaction the very moment it happens. And at the same time, AI is moving way beyond just generic advice. It can now offer hyper-personalized guidance, which is transforming banks from these old-school institutions into, like, true financial partners for their customers. Now, of course, none of this cool, groundbreaking innovation matters one bit if the foundation isn't absolutely rock solid, right? For any enterprise, security is completely non-negotiable, and that's exactly why Google has engineered it into the very core of its platform from day one. A key part of this is something called the zero trust model. Okay, so the old way of doing security was to build a castle with a really strong wall and just assume everyone inside was safe. Zero trust just throws that whole idea out the window. It starts by assuming the threats are already inside. That means every single user, every device, every connection has to be verified, every single time. It's just a fundamentally more secure way to build things for the world we live in today. And this defense-in-depth approach, it starts right down at the hardware level. We're talking custom-designed servers and their own special security chips, like Titan. It extends all the way to their huge private global network, which means your data spends way less time on the vulnerable public internet. And finally, everything, and I mean everything. Data in motion, data just sitting there, it's all encrypted by default. No ifs, ands, or buts. And this is really the crucial takeaway when it comes to security. For Google Cloud, it's not some add-on or an afterthought. It's woven into the very fabric of the platform. I'm talking from the custom silicon in the servers all the way to the fiber optic cables connecting the globe. It's built in, not bolted on. So when you boil it all down, it comes to this. For a long time, the cloud race has been defined by scale. Who has the most services or the biggest physical footprint. But Google is making a very calculated bet here. They're betting that the future of the cloud isn't going to be won on size. It's going to be won on intelligence. Which brings us to a final, and I think pretty provocative question. In a world that's going to be powered by AI, where it's the engine of every single industry, what's ultimately going to define leadership in the cloud? Is it the market share numbers we see today? Or is it the data intelligence that's going to power literally everything tomorrow?